at NASA's Glenn Research Center, and things are certainly moving fast. I've been with NASA Glenn for 3 years, and even though it feels like I just got here, my career is taking off. I have the privilege of working and sharing knowledge with incredible people across several generations. If Merriam-Webster is to be believed, I fall somewhere in between millennials and Gen Z. You know, a zillennial. Much like our society, NASA also tends to think in generations, the where were you whens. Where were you when Neil Armstrong landed on the moon? When the first shuttle launched, what do you remember? For me, the Apollo and shuttle generations were mostly just things I read about in school in between rushing to soccer, gymnastics, and jazz band. Like most kids growing up in Rochester, New York, I was constantly on the move from one activity to the next. You might have found me on a sports field or at the library or the science museum, but through all the years and different interests, space is the one that truly stuck with me. I was obsessed. I had a backyard telescope, and I would tell everyone that I was going to be an astronaut when I grew up. Well, when I was 14, I found out the shuttle program had ended, and I was devastated. I thought it meant my dreams of working in human spaceflight were over. I spent some time exploring the world of aviation and commercial aerospace, but the siren call of the cosmos remained, and so I set my sights back on NASA. I decided that even if I couldn't get to space, I would get as close as possible. And it was all worth it when I finally landed a Pathways internship working right here as a system safety engineer. As it turns out, the stars had always been within my reach. Just before I launched my NASA journey, NASA unveiled its new mission, Artemis, which will fly to the moon and beyond. Since graduating with my master's in mechanical engineering from the Rochester Institute of Technology, I have been a part of the system safety team working to make the Artemis program a reality. Now, some of you might be asking yourselves, what is system safety engineering? I know I was. I hadn't taken any classes on it, and so I had a lot to learn from the start. System safety is one of the most important aspects of human spaceflight. In every design and every mission, there are hazards, risks, and anomalies. The potential for hazards exists no matter what you're creating, from something as small as a sharp corner that catches a spacesuit to something as large as an entire system failure. My job is to control and mitigate these risks and hazards to make sure our astronaut crews come home safely. It's about working together to build safe and reliable systems for the future of spaceflight. And that's exactly what my team and I are doing. Building the future. I'm sure you have all heard of the International Space Station. Well, we're doing that again, but this time around the moon. The Gateway will allow Artemis crews to live and work in lunar space, and NASA Glenn is providing its first building block, the Power and Propulsion Element, or PPE. Using new and advanced spaceflight power, propulsion, and communication technology, PPE will allow Gateway to function in the unforgiving region beyond Earth's orbit. It's up to us to research within this deep space environment to test and build the world's safest and most extreme home away from home. Of course, before crews can live around the moon, they have to get there. I've spent the last 3 years working on the Orion European Service Module's propulsion system, ensuring the safety and performance of its valves, lines, and engines. Last year, we finally brought the concept to life. After more than a decade of effort put in across multiple countries, Artemis I flew around the moon, bringing us farther from Earth than ever before. As a part of the mission support team, I worked real-time anomaly resolution to make improvements before our next big flights, when NASA will send a crew back around the moon for the first time in decades and then set foot on its surface. From there, well, I can hardly say the sky's the limit when we're already among the stars. So, where were you when Artemis I returned us to lunar orbit? Where were you when the Artemis II crew was announced? Where will you be when the first woman lands on the moon? I'll be here at NASA's Glenn Research Center, making human spaceflight to the moon and beyond possible. I am the Artemis generation, and I can't wait to see where we go. Thank you.